State Premium Protein Specialist for Cisco, Arizona. Today we're going to talk about beef tenderloin. Specifically, this is one of our Butcher Block Imperial beef tenderloins, USDA choice. This is a 189A by the Meat Buyer's Guide. What that means is that all of the kidney fat right here has been removed and you're down to just what we call veal fat, or people have other names for it. You'll see it oftentimes in some of the description calling it peeled. We need to emphasize that peeled does not mean all the silver skin and everything is removed when you see it in our descriptions. Peeled means that kidney fat has been removed and down to where it's at. So often referred to as a pismo. Pismo refers to peeled side muscle on. So the side muscle or chain or rope, as people call it, is still intact on this product. There are better ways to buy tenderloins, more prefab, where that would be removed. But we're going to take our time today and show you how to do that in the most cost-efficient way. Okay, so we're going to start by peeling back this veal fat, which you can do mostly by hand. And I'm just grabbing here and kind of working underneath this seam and pulling it back until I get to where the side muscle seam you can see. And I'm going to continue to push that back a lot with my hand. And you can get it to where it's almost completely loose, and then come in with your knife and just lightly using the knife to finish that part off. Now, you want to leave this section right here attached to the tenderloin, because that's not really side muscle, right? That's actually part of the head of the tender. So when you buy these as a 198 for the process item, it's going to leave this little muscle intact. And you just come in here and clean this out after. Okay, so now we've removed the side muscle, right? And now we're going to come and we're going to do the silver skin. Okay, so I prefer to go right to left, so I'm going to flip this around now where I can get it to silver skin. And the goal with pulling silver skin is to capture all the silver skin but leave all the meat. Because when you're dealing with a tenderloin, basically every ounce of meat that you're dealing with is $1. So every ounce you mess up is $1 gone that you can't ever get back. So I start by loosening this, and when I do this technique, I'm turning my knife up into the silver skin so that I'm capturing only the silver skin and none of the meat. Okay, so you can see right here, we're pulling all silver skin. The old guy that taught me how to do this said you should be able to read the newspaper through that. So you would be able to with that particular thing. I'm just going to continue to pull the balance of this off so that I don't miss any of it. One of the things you'll see is sometimes if you're buying tenderloins, one of the old tricks is leave all this wedge fat in here. This is about acceptable as how you would do it, but sometimes they leave a big glob here because it saves them a lot of money. The more of this they can sell you, the consumer, the better the profit is overall. So just watch for some of those old tricks. If you see your yield is getting out of line, typically it's one of those old school tricks that people that know how to manipulate the yields are going to try to sell you as much of the fat as they can. So now we have taken this tenderloin now from when it had all that stuff on it. It was a 189A tender. Now, if we just took the side muscle off and left the silver skin on, that would become a 190 tender. But now, because we've completely cleaned it up, this is now a 190A clean tenderloin. Not quite steak ready. If we were to say it was steak ready, we would dock the tail and dock the nose here a little bit, and then you wouldn't be losing these face cuts as you go to start making steaks. Okay, so now here we have all the component parts after we're done fabricating this tenderloin to show you all the different ways that we're going to sell you products, okay? So in the front row, if I sell you this entire complex right here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 steaks, differs from tender to tender. These are going to be center cut 1190B tenders. This is what's going to come in the box if you order one of our center cut fillets. Okay? If we take these two out, and we're left here, right? These are what we call barrel cut, right? Where they're dead center out of the thickest part of the loin to give you cookie cutter round shape. You know, not something that might be a little bigger on one side and smaller on the other, right? Again, these are all 1190B, but we can specify barrel cut and you'll get only these steaks right here. Of course, every time we put a knife to an item, the price goes up. So we'll sell you whatever you want. Just a matter of where you want to put that onto your menu. Okay. Then we also have generated 4 3-ounce medallions. We've generated probably a pound of tenderloin tip. And then we've got this wonderful pile of trim. A lot of my customers will say, well, I use this for grind. I use it in soup stock, I do whatever. In order to get to these steaks right here, okay, you're talking about roughly a 45% yield off the whole tender. So less than half the tenderloin you created goes into steaks. The other half is here. And I always like to coach people along, buy what you want to sell, okay? Do not buy things and then have to get inventive on your menu to generate things you want to sell, which equals more inventory, more things in stock, more things that you have to try to balance on your menu. So if you want to sell steaks, you should get into a portion cut steak program and buy steaks. If you want to sell ground beef, right, I can sell you ground beef a lot cheaper, a lot higher quality than this, and a lot less than $10 a pound for ground beef, which is what you're going to be paying when you factor in the cost of your tenderloin. I can sell you tenderloin tips out of our cutting room for a lot less than $10 a pound that you're paying for it as you buy this whole tender. Like, we can sell you 3-ounce medallions for a lot less than it's costing you to include it in these center cut steaks. All right, currently right now we have these available to the customer about $12.50 a pound. Now we do, every time we cut a tenderloin, we're getting 1 or 2 of these off each tenderloin, so we'll stockpile them at the end of the day. We'll cryovac them 4 per, and then we'll freeze those and have those as a value-added item. That's it on tenderloin explanation. And I hope this helps you maximize your profit and lean towards buying pre-cut fillets. You know, there's 2 things that I would never cut if I owned a restaurant. Number 1 is a top sirloin. Even though it's inexpensive, it's very hard to work with. Number 2 is a tenderloin, because like I said, every mistake is $1.